guys are a small school like Wofford, what mentality are you guys adapting, taking on a powerhouse like Kentucky heading into this matchup?
I would say our non-conference kind of prepared us for that. Every year we play a pretty hard non-conference. We play against a lot of big schools. Go into it like any other game, get the game plan from the coaches, go out, play as hard as we can, see what happens.
Question, raise your hand. We'll get a microphone your way. Next question for the guys here on the third row on the right, please.
For Fletcher or Cameron, since Matthew's already had to take one, just can you, for people who don't know Wofford, where it is, what kind of school it is, I guess we can look on Wikipedia and see it's not exactly a huge enrollment. I don't know, probably the smallest, maybe the smallest school in the tournament. But what to a national audience would you say about Wofford? And is this kind of matchup intriguing to you guys? I mean, obviously Kentucky's kind of on this whole different level, you know, as a elite of college basketball, and you know, and just getting a chance to go against them.
I mean, Wofford College is a special place. It's a small, tight-knit community where you know everybody. We have professors here that are greeting us after the games in the hotel. That just shows the type of place that we go to school at. And as far as it being us playing a powerhouse school like Kentucky, we are excited about doing that. I mean, it doesn't get much better than playing teams like Kentucky. You dream of that as a kid, being on that team, being on a smaller school, playing against that team. So all of this is just a dream come true.
Let's go in the aisle, please, right here.
Yeah, kind of following that up for any or all three of you. Before you were recruited by Wofford, how many of you did not know where Wofford was? And then also, when you tell people you play for Wofford, do you still have to tell them where it is? All three of you, preferably.
Yeah, I did not know exactly where Wofford was until I went up and visited it. But you know, like Cam said, it actually is a great place. You know, it's like one of the best kept secrets. You know, you don't really know what it is, but when you get there, it's awesome.
Yeah, I hadn't heard of it either. I'm from Virginia and didn't really know much about schools in South Carolina, especially not the smaller schools in South Carolina. But it's become home for me. So.
I'm the oddball out. I grew up in South Carolina, and I had a lot of connections to Wofford, so I knew all about it my whole career. So that was actually an offer I was really excited to get, and worked out well.
Let's go in the middle in the back. We'll get to you next, Gene.
Hey, guys. Adam Zagoria, New York Times, for Fletcher and all you guys. Do you ever think, like, you know, you're playing against this Kentucky team with all these NBA prospects and stuff, that if you play well or beat them, that you could help yourself in the eyes of NBA scouts and stuff like that?
That's something that, you know, you try to, you know, block out and ignore as much as you can. You know, getting the chance to go against great competition is always a great chance for you to prove yourself. But, you know, to think about, you know, you don't want to get out of character and try to do things that you can't do, or do things that you're uncomfortable doing, just to try to, you know, show that you can do something. You know, we want to stay within ourselves, play our game, and we feel that if we do that, you know, we can be right there and we can compete with them.
On the right side right here, and you next, sir.
Gene Fournette from the Times Union over here, and Fletcher. How much do you really pay attention to the economy of your shooting, meaning that taking, even though some people might perceive some of the shots you take as just really low percentage shots, but you do work on them, how much do you pay attention to the fact that you're scoring well above 1 point for every shot and free throw you've attempted in your career? And as a follow-up, does it really bother you that much that your younger brother is taller than you?
To the first part of the question, absolutely. He's only 14, and he's probably 2 inches taller than me, so I wish I had, those 2 inches on me. But to the second part, it's something that, I've gotten used to, just as far as, a lot of people thinking that it's, a bad shot or an inefficient shot. But, when, like you said, like when you look at the points per possession or, percentages and get into the numbers and analytics, you can see that, I make them at an efficient enough rate for it to be a good shot for our team. So I think that when you look at it that way, that, it all works out and it's not a bad shot.
As a follow-up, you were probably, I don't know, 14, 13 years old when Jimmer Fredette of BYU was really lighting it up nationally. Did you pay much attention to his game, and is there any approach from you that even resembles anything of what he did?
I actually didn't pay attention too much to him. I do remember when they played Florida in the NCAA tournament. Just growing up in Florida, I was watching that, and I remember he had a great game against them and pulled up from deep probably 3 or 4 times and made it on them. So I knew that, you know, he was a great player and a great shooter. Just him being out west and at BYU, I didn't really get the chance to, you know, watch a lot of his games and that kind of stuff, though.
Hold on, let's get a
Really?
mic, Gene.
I know that.
You good, Gene? All right, let's go here on the aisle, third row, and then we'll get to you next.
Jerry Tipton, Lexington Herald Leader. How would you guys describe the style of offense you guys play? How much of a green light you have? How much dependence on three-point shooting?
I think that we're actually a very balanced offense. You know, Cam, Matt, Keve, you know, a lot of our bigs are really good back to the basket post scores. So, you know, a lot of people like to talk about all the threes that we shoot and stuff, but, you know, if it wasn't for, you know, them drawing in the defense, you know, a lot of times we wouldn't be open for those threes. So, you know, playing inside out can definitely open it up. I think that we're pretty balanced, you know, because we can, you know, shoot the ball really well, but we can also, you know, pound it inside with our bigs and have them go to work. So I feel like, you know, it's a good balance between that.
Got about 5 minutes left. Let's go in the second row.
Right here. This was for Fletcher. Amon Lott, FAMU TV 20 News. You broke the record last night. Got 2 quick questions, but you broke the record. How big was that moment for you and for your career, for everything that you've done? And the second question is, you take a high degree of difficulty of shots, and how's your practice regimen with those?
So the first question, I think I've said this before. I think, you know, when I look back on it, when I'm older, I'll definitely, you know, think about this game and that game and how special and everything it was. But, you know, in the moment, just, you know, trying to do whatever you can to win, you know, to think about, you know, winning an NCAA tournament game. That was just the main goal, and that was what was on my mind. But to the second part, I think that, you know, the practice regimen, I think that you try to practice shots that you know you're going to shoot in games. So, you know, if I know that I'm going to shoot an off-balance shot going this way or off-balance shot going that way, I'm going to practice, you know, those type of shots so I can get a feel for it. And I feel like that's kind of what's enabled me to shoot those kind of shots.
Got a few minutes left. Any questions? Let's go third row on the right, please. And we'll get to you next, sir.
Aaron Gersh on Asia Blue. Fletcher already talked about the play on the big, so I want to ask Cameron and Matthew. Kentucky feels pretty good about their size advantage. How do you guys kind of prove that they're wrong to think that way tomorrow?
I think we just take care of what we can take care of. It's not really about proving them wrong. It's about doing what we're comfortable doing and making the impact on the game that we can, the way that we impact the game on a daily basis, getting the ball to the shooters, rebounding. But it's not really about proving them wrong. It's about taking care of what we can take care of.
I think you said it best right there.
Any other questions for the guys for Wofford here? Anybody else? Back left. Yes, sir. Sorry.
Cameron, can you talk about what athletics trainer Elise Hart does on a daily basis to get you ready to go, what she means to you, and is she right when she says you're kind of high maintenance?
Me personally or the team? Okay, I don't think that I'm necessarily high maintenance. I think that might be a little bit of a stretch. But no, Elise is the best. She's taken care of me throughout my 5 years. I've had a few injuries where I've needed her to just really take care of me and tell me what I need to do. And she's always very upfront with me about what's wrong. She tells me if I'm being soft. She tells me, like, she keeps it really straight with me. So I'm able to know what I can and can't do. She doesn't sugarcoat anything, and she just tries to just get me ready. She's meant the world to me over the past 5 years. I've grown close to her through the experience.
You guys had a look on the high maintenance part there. Any comment on that? No? Okay. Any other questions? Right here, Gene. We'll get the last one right here.
This is for Cameron. Just curious, Fletcher has taken a certain amount of grief from his family about his haircut. And I I'm just wondering if you guys have needled him about not having sort of like a defined hairstyle, like it's like a little bit short of crew cut, but not really a crew cut, and then a little bit longer, but not. It doesn't seem to be defined. I'm just wondering if you guys needle him about that at all.
Nah, not really. We just let him do his thing. His hair doesn't really matter when the ball goes in, so I don't care how he cuts it. He could be bald tomorrow, and I'd still be happy as long as he's hitting shots.